the relationship between the police and this mayor.
No doubt about it. And a great guest, bring in retired NYPD Chief of Department John Schell. Thank you so much for being here this morning with us. We just talked about this. Do you think today is the start of a policing crisis in New York City?
Well, today starts, now it is real. It is not idealism. Now rubber meets the road today. After the mayor's great celebration today, the clock starts. And I can tell you right now, the rank and file is just going to sit back and watch to see how this plays out. If he, by any chance, his best department, NYPD, 24/7, 365, and his rhetoric is not on point and his actions are not what they should be, you have 4,000 cops of all ranks that could leave. Now, some will leave naturally for retirement, some might want to stay. But if this thing goes sideways and he alienates them, it's going to be a massive problem. The NYPD came off a great year. The commissioner is staying. That will be interesting to watch. But we are teetering here.
You bring up a couple good points here. As Chief of Department, John, you are in charge of staffing. He thinks the NYPD at its current level, about 35,000, is enough to keep the city safe. Do you think that it's enough? And how concerned are you that police officers starting today are going to just not come back and not go to work, decide to retire early?
Here's the problem. On a good note, the NYPD hired about 4,000 cops this year, the most in 40 years. The bad side, they lost about 3,200. That net 800 is probably the biggest gain in years. What we really need is about 40,000 to get this done. 35,000 is not a bad start, but I don't think we're going to get there because we can't keep up with the hiring and the attrition rates. That's normal. That's been bad the last couple of years. Now when you add this element, like I said, if the rhetoric is off and he doesn't back his cops, it's going to be a big problem because now the people will leave. Who's going to want to take this job? And I'll leave you with this. The Civilian Complaint Review Board. If he gives the power to them to adjudicate punishment against police officers, they're all going to leave. Trust me on that one.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch decided to take this job, and she has overseen what has been a record. You have shooting incidents and victims. They are at record lows in New York City. She decided to stay for this job, which surprised many. What are you going to be looking at with this relationship, and do you think she will stay on the job for his entire tenure in office?
The entire tenure? I don't believe so, but let's see. We just don't know. Here's the issue. They're on totally different spectrums when it comes to crime fighting. She wants to put people in jail. He wants to take people out of jail. Where does that intersect? Will there be a tipping point? Well, like I said, we're going to see this cultivate really quickly where this is going to go in the next 3 months in terms of, like I said, Civilian Complaint Review Board, the gang database that helped those victims this year, funding, staffing. We're going to find out real quick how this is going to go.
My last question for you, John. There have been a number of controversial